give me the answer, but you're supposed to read it all. Oh, les explico más o menos cómo se trabaja el curso y qué llevamos, okay? Don't worry. Number 3. Who wants to read it number 3?
In some cultures, it's offensive to take pictures of people without permission, so few people do that.
Very good. Offensive that was offensive for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, nobody knows. You're walking with your little girl or boys, I don't know, and someone is taking a picture of them. So you don't know what are they going to do. First, what is the purpose of taking a picture? And when they already took the picture, what are they going to do with the picture? Okay? And anyway, it's a 4. Who wants to read it number 4?
Some people think that talking with a mouth full of food is an example of bad table manners.
Very good. Number 5?
In some cultures, it's customary to name children after a living relative, and most people observe that tradition.
Very good. Thank you. Very common. Your dad is Carlos. You are Carlos because your granddad was Carlos. Is it common that? Yes? Your mom is Estela. You are Estela. And because your grandmother was Estela. So there are a lot of Estelas in the same house. Okay? Very common. Number 6.
Each culture has rules of etiquette that are important than before visitors to that country to now.
Yes, you're supposed to follow the etiquette according to the culture or the country you're visiting. Okay? Number 7.
In our conservative culture, it's like taboo to call someone by his or her first name without being invited to. But it isn't truly offensive.
Okay. What about the rest of the class? Do you think it's taboo or is impolite? What do you think?
Impolite.
Impolite. Yes, it's impolite. That is a business etiquette, probably. In more conservative culture, is slightly impolite to call someone by the first name or her first name without being invited. So when you know someone for the first time in Guatemala and is an older person, you will say sir, Mr., and the name, but you won't say you are 20 years old and you're knowing a person, probably is your boss, and the person is 70 years old. Are you going to call him Roberto because that's his name? No. So you're supposed to ask, how may I call you? Would you like to be called Roberto? How would you like to be called? And the person has to tell you, okay? Number 8, the most successful global travelers today have developed so they are aware of differences in etiquette from culture to culture.
Cultural literacy.
Cultural literacy. Very good. Okay. Questions so far? No? Okay, before we go to the listening, let's try to get some of the information that we have here. According to our culture, how do people greet each other when they first meet? Or when they first meet, or for the first time they meet in Guatemala? When you know someone for the first time, how do you greet? You can?
By shaking hands or maybe giving kisses. It's very common here.
Very good, but only one kiss, okay? How do they greet each other when they already know each other? Because for the first time, you can give a handshake. But when it's a person that regularly you know and you greet every single day?
almost the same way, but with more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You can maybe give a hug as well if it's
Yes.
someone that is very important. But if not, it's the same shaking hands, giving kisses, but with more confidence. It's not like at the same way at the first time.
Okay. Yes. Very good. Are greeting customs different from men and women in Guatemala? Do we have a difference? We say hi in a different
Mm,
way that we say hi to a man and a woman.
yes.
How is different?
For example, I'm a man and I cannot go to a woman unless I know her too much. But I cannot go for the first time and say, "Hey, how are you?" and try to give a kiss. Maybe it's something that it's like um causing for her. I'm not very sure, but at the first time it's like, "Hey, hi," and take your distance and just say hi. And if they allow you, you can be more confident. But if not, it's kind of different. That if you are going with the men and you just say, "Hey, how are you?" and shaking hands or shaking punches. I'm not pretty sure, but you have more confidence with the person that is from your same like
Probably
sex
it's not
or
okay. Yes. Probably it's not to mark the differences, but there is a difference. When you say hello to a woman, you're supposed to be more delicate and give her a space, only shaking hands and that's it. Okay. But with men, that's what you're saying. There's a kind of more confidence between men. Okay. But not necessarily is like a big different custom. When and how do you address people formally? In Guatemala, when and how do we address people formally?
during job or right now giving classes as well.
Okay, with the teachers
Business.
from the university in a business meeting, when you're having an interview, obviously you want the job, you're supposed to be very formal. Okay. When and how do you address people informally?
When friends or with friends or
Your friends, your family, probably, or some people that you already know. Okay. What are some do's and don'ts for table manners? We already explained that. Are there any type of certain food or beverage that we consider in Guatemala taboo that we don't drink, we don't eat?
probably weird things like snakes or something like that that are not pretty common here, but in other places are very common to it.
Okay, for example, in Guatemala City, probably we don't eat snakes, but in el interior, probably yes. Which are the typical animals that in the city we don't eat, but some these type of animals they eat it in Guatemala, but not in the city? Son popos, comemos son popos nosotros.
Si caen, sí.
Okay, probably yes. Snakes, armadillo. ¿Han probado armadillo?
Yes.
Okay, probably in the city, no, but probably in another type, yes. Iguana.
Yes.
It's not very common, but last time I saw someone selling like uh one.
Okay, yes. Okay, very good. What are certain type of conversations, topics that are taboo? So we already discussed that we don't talk about your marital status. Who cares if you are married, if you are divorced, if you're widowed? I mean, no, those are like a personal questions. Okay. And let's see if we have something different here. Now, what is customary gift to bring on a visit to someone's home? If someone invites you to have dinner, to have lunch, or to have breakfast, your best friend is invited to his or her house. Is it customary that you take a gift to the family, to your friend? It is a custom in Guatemala?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. If they are inviting you to have, to have lunch. And after lunch, everybody wants probably something sweet. So what some of the people do is that they are inviting me to have lunch. Probably I will give a cake. I'll take a pie. I will probably bring some cookies, ice cream. I don't know. Another type of gift, Magdalena, is very common. Are there any gift taboos, like a kind of flowers? Like it is common in Guatemala that you can give any kind of flower to any kind of woman, or the colors might vary?
Sometimes the color is more berry.
Okay. Would you give red roses to a person that just you met the first day? Or would you give red roses to your friend's mother because it's her birthday? Probably is not too appropriate a color. Probably you will give another type of flowers or another type of colors, probably. Are there places, or what are the places in which you can use a specific type of clothes?
Maybe wearing a cap in the church. It's kind of not common.
Okay. Or when you're eating. Yes.
Or when you're eating.
Okay. Probably you won't go to the church using or wearing shorts or sandals. It's not appropriate. Okay. Or you won't go to the university in sandals and shorts. Probably. Is there an important aspect of your culture that we didn't mention? Do we have any type of a special thing that we didn't mention in all the things that we were talking? No? Probably? No. Okay. In a minute, we return. And then we're going to leave the listening for the end. And we have a culture. And in this reading, they are interviewing an older woman and they are asking different type of things and how in the place she lives is being evolving, because obviously it has to evolve. Everything has to evolve. And they ask very specific questions. And let's see how she reacts to the question. It says global culture. And it says, in what ways do you think table manners have changed since the days when your grandparents were children? Do you think that the table manners in my country, in our country, have changed from our grandparents' time?
Yes.
Yes, everything has changed. Everything has changed.